Welcome to a special report of the Don Smith Show. Now, on Monday of this week, President Barack Obama gave a speech to the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. In the speech, he said many interesting things, but take a listen to what he said in his opening remarks.
Tom, it is good to be here today at the Chamber of Commerce. I'm here in the interest of being more neighborly. I strolled over from across the street, and look, maybe if we had brought over a fruitcake when I first moved in, we would have gotten off to a better start.
Now, it's very interesting that he tried to make light of his relationship with the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. Instead of the fruitcake, maybe if he hadn't spent 2 years bashing businesses and accusing them of illegally funding Republican candidates in the 2010 elections, those might have been some things that he could have done to improve the relationship. Now, the president also made these very unusual comments. Listen to this.
For my administration, it meant a series of emergency measures that I would not have undertaken under normal circumstances, but that were necessary to stop our economy from falling off a cliff.
Now, I say enough of the cliff analogy already, please. Now, the president did take very drastic actions, which has a lot to do with the relationship he has with the U.S. Chamber. Now, if all these actions were necessary, they completely took over Chrysler and General Motors, I would ask the president, why is Ford doing so well then? But take a listen to what the president had to say next.
We need to make America the best place on earth to do business. And this is a job for all of us. As a government, we will help lay the foundation for you to grow and innovate and succeed.
Now, this is where the president truly does not get it. Government does not lay the foundation. We, the people, do. Government is the problem, not the solution. Now, the president had this to say about business, and I want you to keep in mind, this is a guy with no business experience whatsoever. He's never run so much as a lemonade stand. But listen to what he had to say to these top executives in the business community.
But I want to be clear. Even as we make America the best place on earth to do business, businesses also have a responsibility to America. I understand the challenges you face. I understand you are under incredible pressure to cut costs and keep your margins up. I understand the significance of your obligations to your shareholders and the pressures that are created by quarterly reports. I get it. But as we work with you to make America a better place to do business, I'm hoping that all of you are thinking what you can do for America.
Really, Mr. President, how could you possibly understand the complexities involved in running a business? You've never run a business, but he knows everything. Now, this was the most curious thing of his speech to the chamber. And he made this claim actually Sunday in his interview with Bill O'Reilly before the Super Bowl.
Now, to make room for these investments in education, in innovation, in infrastructure, government also has a responsibility to cut spending that we just can't afford. That's why I've promised to veto any bill that's larded up with earmarks. That's why I've proposed that we freeze annual domestic spending for the next 5 years. Understand what this means. This would reduce the deficit by more than $400 billion over the next decade and bring this spending, domestic discretionary spending, down to the lowest share of our economy since Eisenhower was president. That's a long time ago.
By freezing spending, we are going to continue to add $5 trillion in debt every 2 years if we spend at the level we've spent at. That makes sense? Now, he's going to keep saying this through 2012. It's not true. So, all in all, it was a very interesting speech. Didn't go over well with the crowd. He didn't get a lot of applause, and he's had a very difficult relationship. Let's hope this relationship improves because our economy depends on it, but I don't see that happening anytime in the near future. So, thanks for joining me for a special report here from the Don Smith Show.